Well, good evening, fellow anglers. Hope hope all of you guys survived. Debbie, uh, somebody give me an audio check just to make sure you can hear me. I know that'll take a couple seconds from when I say it to get out there. We are getting ready for good, Patrick. Thanks for that. We're getting ready for uh, Lake Gaston on Saturday. It's Thursday night. It's a night earlier than we usually do the angler meeting, so this will be on the page for people to see um, in retroactively in case people sign up late and they need to get some information. It'll be here for them. Thanks for you guys that are here live tonight. So let's start talking about Lake Gaston a little bit. Um, I guess the first thing we'll talk about is our times. We will launch at 6:05, lines in at 6:30, lines out at 2:30. Have all your pictures submitted by 3, and the weigh-in for this one is going to be a um, virtual weigh-in because it's so far back home. Um, stand around. Typically it's an hour and a half after lines out before we have the weigh-in. And this just gives everybody a chance to get on the road and get back towards home. And we'll do the weigh-in virtually Saturday night at 8 o'clock. Um, with that, let me remind everybody there is a wild card prize, especially the new guys. Just make sure everyone knows there's a wild card prize. The wild card is for the largest non bass caught during the tournament. So it could be a catfish, a white bass, a bowfin, whatever it is that you catch that's not a bass. Throw it on your board, take a picture of it. Don't submit it on the app, but send it to me either via text message or Facebook chat. Send me a picture of it on the board. Still need your identifier there, and we will get you a prize for that electronically, and that is sponsored by Raleigh Apex Hitch. Raleigh Apex Hitch is a new sponsor this year. They have, of course, hitches, but they can also get a variety of things. Uh, uh, Tool racks or racks for the bed of a truck, cargo racks on top, just about anything you can think of for your truck or SUV. They are doing lift kits. So if you need any of that stuff, be sure to check them out and be sure to thank them for sponsoring us. While we're talking about that, let's talk about sponsors in general. So let's thank 47 Lures. They're the title sponsor this year, and we just really want to thank them for being with us, for sponsoring us, for making this kind of possible, and for everything they do. We give away their lures uh, or their baits, I guess I should say, soft baits, and we really appreciate having them on board. Um, Next, we want to thank A1 Pest out of Sanford. A1 does bug spray, but they also get rid of bats. They get rid of just wildlife. It's A1 Pest and Wildlife Removal in Sanford. Even though they say Sanford, they travel all over the state. And if you were fishing with us, you're probably in their range. So if you need anything taken care of in that regards, please give them a call. Want to thank Amp Outdoors, Amp Lithium Batteries. They sponsor the largest bass caught and turned in this year. Gets a special prize, and we want to thank them for that. Right now, that is held by Wilton Rogerson, who caught a 22 and 3/4 inch bass in the first tournament of the year at Heiko. Uh, Hank A1 putting pest to rest. But yeah, Wilton caught that 22 and 3/4 in the first tournament of the year, and it's held up. Um, don't know what this weather is going to do to Gaston. but there's always a chance somebody could beat it. So I want to thank Amped for their sponsorship. Also, want to thank Pincushion Tattoo out of Greensboro for the gift cards that they give us for every tournament. I want to thank Chick-fil-A Town Ridge Square, which is off of Glenwood Avenue, there near Pleasant Valley. Thank them for gift cards that we get to give away. Roz Team Fishing, Frank that fishes with us, Frank Rosnos, he has guided bow fishing, and by bow fishing, I mean bow and arrow. So fishing for carp or gar or whatever it is by bow and arrow, guided trips down out of the Jacksonville, North Carolina area. Um, he gives away a set of tools, snips and pliers that we give away at tournaments. I want to thank Hobie Eyewear for giving us some glasses to give away this year. I want to thank Cash and Rods, Angler of the Year, and Clash of the Titans winners will get custom rods from Cashin. So definitely thank them for that. So back to Lake Gaston. Like I said, launch at 6:05, lines in at 6:30. For the new guys, you can go to centralcarolinakayakfishing.com, and there's a tab at the top for rules. If you have not seen our rules, go check them out. But a couple of the highlights are 10-inch minimum. When you put them on your board, the gate, the fence should be to the left, and you should be belly to belly with the fish so that the fish is going left to right, mouth to tail. Be sure to make sure that you're not touching the fish in the no touch zones. The best way to do that is to make sure you're just touching the middle of the fish. Make sure that we can see the entire tail behind the fins, and don't cover the eye. If you and That should be good as far as where to place your hand on the fish. Make sure the fish's mouth is closed. Open mouth is a 1/2 inch deduction. If you catch a 10-inch fish and it's got a 1/2 inch deduction, it no longer counts because it's 9.5 inches and we have a 10-inch minimum. So just keep that in mind, that you need to keep the mouth closed to your fish. Probably the best thing advice I can give for that is to also take several pictures. Take several pictures of your fish, even though you're only going to submit one pic. But there's little things that you need to be aware of, that you're moving, you're in a kayak, things are moving around. We need to be able to see the entire fence, where the mouth is touching the measuring board. So it's best to have at least an inch or two clearance on the left. And we need to see an inch or two past the tail of the fish, so that we can continue to see marks on the board beyond the fish. Makes it much easier to judge. I have seen fish submitted where the angler says it's 15 1/4, and I think it's 15 1/4, but I can't see any numbers on the board. And so you're not able to get credit for that. So take several pictures, and just, as you're fumbling around in that boat, hopefully one of those pictures is good. And if there is a problem with one of your pictures, hopefully you have something to resubmit to take care of it, and not have to DQ a fish. There's a new function in Tourney X. Used to, the judges would have to call you, text you, Facebook message you, to get in touch with you, send you an email to get in touch with you when there was a problem. Now in Tourney X, there is a push notifications button as we're judging fish. So we're able to send you a message right to your app. So make sure that notifications are turned on for your Tourney X app. That way, if the judge has an issue, she can get in touch with you right away. With that said, would like to give a shout out to Susie. And Susie, I'm sorry if you watch this. I don't know how to pronounce your last name. I'm going to say Roloff. Susie is out in the Illinois, Wisconsin area, and she is judging for us. She judges. A lot of you guys are familiar with her. She's judged some pretty big events, and she has judged the majority of our events. The last two she couldn't, and so we had a celebrity guest judge for those. But Susie is back this tournament and judging for us. Just trying to think if there would be any questions I haven't answered yet. PFDs, wear them. If you're if you're fishing and you're not wearing it and someone sees you, you can get DQ'd. We definitely need you guys wearing your PFDs um, at all times. Uh, Sorry, people signing up for the tournament. My phone's going off. Um, Looking through the rule, I'm just looking through the rules again. There's a lot of boat ramps listed there. At the end of the boat ramps, you do see the clause, in addition, if camping in a campground on Lake Gaston, anglers may launch from the campground as some park hours do not allow exit prior to launch times. So we've always said if you're camping at a campground, you can launch at the campground for the tournament. We're also expanding that one. If you've rented an Airbnb or um, whatever rental, if you're staying somewhere on the lake and your waterfront, you can launch from there. It's a big lake, and everybody's getting 25 minutes of motor time, pedal time, paddle time. Um, so we are allowing that this time as well. One of the few lakes that we fish that you have the opportunity to do that. So anxious anxious to see what Debbie has done to this. I checked the water levels at Lake Gaston earlier today, and they were actually still below um, full pull. But when I saw it that earlier, I'm looking it up now. But when I looked at it earlier today, the report was from 8 a.m. It's coming up now. The last report is still 8 a.m. I guess this will update tomorrow. Um, the right as 8 a.m. this morning, it was at 199.81 feet, and full pull is 200 feet. Lake Gaston is a power lake, power generation lake, and as we all know, um, I'm silencing my phone. As we all know, it feeds directly below Bugs Island or Carr Lake. Carr Lake is used as a flood control lake for Lake Gaston. So there's a good chance that the levels may not be up that much anyway. I believe they let some water down um, with Debbie coming um, so that um, it would not flood with Debbie coming here. Sorry, I got distracted by Patrick's question. Yes, Patrick, uh, you just leave the area of, your launch area at the campsite at the same time as everyone else, 6:05. Um, if you're staying at the campground, I believe they have their own boat ramp. Um, but I know that they have ways there. They're close enough to shore to that you can launch directly on the lake. So that is what you do. Um, what Airbnb? I don't know what you're talking about, Andy. Um, I'm just trying to think. I hadn't seen any questions posted. One more run through. Like I said, check out the rules for sure, especially if you're new. There's pictures in the rules of how to put your hand on the bass. What we call the no touch zones. No touch zones are DQs. So that's a lot more egregious offense than an open mouth. So be sure you know what the no touch zones are. Like I said, if you catch something other than a bass, take a picture and either text it to me, Facebook message it to me, or the page. And uh, largest non-bass caught gets a special prize. Um, and with that, I think we're about done. Want everybody to stay safe. Like I said, wear those PFDs. Be careful. We have had a couple people, not in competition this year, I don't think, but we have had a couple people associated with us that have rolled their kayaks on pre-fishing days and things like that, and definitely um, don't want to deal with that on tournament day. So be safe. Wear your PFDs. When we launch, have a 360 light or have lights that boats can see you, and let's all make it out of there safe and dry and alive. And wish everybody luck. Look forward to seeing your submissions, and If I don't talk to you before then, I'll see you Saturday night at 8 p.m. for the weigh-in.